Chapter 1. The Old Banyan Tree. Jesse, a young adventurer, loved exploring the forests and hills surrounding his village. One day he decided to venture further than he ever had before. He stumbled upon a huge banyan tree and decided to climb it. As he was ascending, he noticed the smell of tobacco and looked up to see a giant figure with red eyes and a long beard smoking a cigar. It was a Kapre. Chapter 2. The Escape. Jesse was paralyzed with fear. He had heard stories of Kapres, and they were not friendly creatures. The Kapre noticed him and blew a cloud of smoke towards him. Jesse tried to move, but his limbs felt heavy. He had heard that Kapres could control their victims' movements. The Kapre slowly descended the tree and approached Jesse. Just as it was about to grab him, Jesse remembered his father's words. "If you ever encounter a Kapre, throw salt on it." He reached for the salt he had packed for his snacks and threw it at the Kapre. The Kapre howled in pain and disappeared in a cloud of smoke. Chapter 3. The Village Meeting. Jesse's father called for an emergency meeting with the village elders to discuss the Kapre sighting. The elders acknowledged the existence of the legendary creature and listened to Jesse's account of his encounter. They debated the possible danger of the Kapre and the best course of action. In the end, they decided to send a group of hunters to track down the Kapre and assess the situation. They also tasked a group of volunteers to gather salt and prepare a trap, just in case the Kapre turned out to be a threat to the village. As the meeting came to a close, Jesse's father reminded the villagers to be cautious and stay vigilant. He also warned them not to venture too far into the forest alone and to avoid the banyan tree where the Kapre was sighted. The hunters returned with no luck in finding the Kapre. Some of the villagers were relieved, but Jesse's curiosity was still piqued. He started to explore the forest near the banyan tree, hoping to catch a glimpse of the Kapre. As he searched, Jesse heard a strange rustling in the bushes. He froze, wondering if it was the Kapre finally revealing itself. But as the rustling grew louder, Jesse saw that it was only a wild boar. He breathed a sigh of relief and started to head back to the village. But then he remembered the trap that the villagers had set up. What if the boar had stumbled into it? He knew that he had to check. As he approached, he saw that the trap had indeed been sprung. But it wasn't a wild boar that was caught inside. It was the Kapre. Chapter 4. The Plan. Jesse stared in awe as he saw the Kapre trapped in the salt-lined pit. He couldn't believe that he had actually found the creature that he had been searching for. But now the question was, what were they going to do with it? The villagers gathered around the pit, wondering what their next move should be. Some suggested killing the Kapre, while others argued that they should release it back into the forest. Jesse spoke up and proposed a different plan. "We should talk to the Kapre," he said. "Maybe we can reason with it and find out why it's been causing trouble." The other villagers looked at him skeptically, but Jesse insisted. He remembered the Kapre's warning about the destruction that was coming, and he knew that there had to be a reason behind it. The elders agreed to let Jesse try to communicate with the Kapre, but they warned him to be careful. They knew that the creature was powerful and unpredictable. Jesse climbed down into the pit, approaching the Kapre cautiously. The creature glared at him with its fiery eyes, but Jesse didn't back down. He spoke to the Kapre in a calm voice, explaining that they didn't want to harm it, and that they just wanted to understand why it had been causing trouble. To his surprise, the Kapre responded. It told Jesse that it had been angry because the villagers had been cutting down trees and destroying the forest. The Kapre had been trying to protect its home, but it didn't know how else to make its voice heard. Jesse listened carefully to the Kapre's words and relayed them to the other villagers. They realized that they had been careless in their actions and promised to be more mindful of the forest's well-being. Together, they came up with a plan to work with the Kapre to protect the forest. They agreed to designate certain areas as protected zones, where no trees would be cut down. They also promised to work with the Kapre to maintain the forest's natural balance. As they released the Kapre back into the forest, Jesse felt a sense of relief. They had found a way to coexist with the legendary creature, and the forest would be protected for generations to come.